of reach versus richness, in my opinion, of course. It's a personal opinion. A technology like the web has a lot of reach, of course. Every phone today can display web pages. That's no problem. But when you start to see people that are enthusiastic about iPhones, they will tell you, yeah, but from the web I cannot see my location, I cannot do this, I cannot interact with the device, I cannot access the accelerometers, whatever. That's true. So you have less richness in the web than you have in a dedicated application that's now in the application store. To just give you an image of the past, we used to have the web. Well, when I position it here, this says a lot about why did it fail. It didn't really work on all the phones, and it also didn't really provide much functionality, so it had no chance to leverage towards something that could be useful. We had Java, and yeah, what can I say about Java? As long as it was the only choice we had, we were happy to have some programming language on a mobile phone. So it was what we used. But it didn't get so much reach as it could because there were a lot of incompatibilities between the different Java implementations. And on top of that, what you could make with it wasn't really sexy. I mean, sometimes you even had to fight to store a little file on the device, or sometimes you couldn't even access the full graphic capabilities of the device. So that was very difficult. Symbian and Windows Mobile, the native implementations you did a few years ago, those were great because you could really program the device. It wasn't a sexy device to begin with, but it was great, but it was only limited to B2B applications. So if you go into a company and say, we will automate your sales force and we will give them access to all of your CRM data, that's a nice story, because then you can say, we all want to buy a Windows mobile phone of this device, etc., and you're standardized on it, and it's so that was good, but it doesn't spread, it doesn't have potential to go B2C. Consumers can do nothing with those applications. But that's all done now. We have application stores, that's wonderful. They provide wonderful features, they provide wonderful reach, and each and every brand has these application stores. What is the problem with those stores? Within, and this is of course what we already saw today, within those application stores, this isn't one giant group, this is a different store for each and every manufacturer. So there's about 10 application stores today, and the bad news is you need to develop 10 different applications when you want to compete in all of them. There's no common programming language. So this is why, in my opinion, and of course it has been said already today, HTML5 and the technologies that defined inside and around it, like the canvas technology and the capability to access device capabilities, will definitely be the future and will definitely solve all of our development problems in targeting different platforms. But, as we have already seen today, it's not there yet. So today, yes, we have to write the application for it. Yes, we have to make applications because that's what the market demands and that's what's hot today. So if you earn your money by developing for a company or for a company's customers, definitely today is the time to sell mobile applications. Everybody wants them, everybody thinks they're cool, they're hot, and even mobile websites, they think, oh, that's good. I say, we need to have this app. So that's good, you can sell it to them. But be smart about it, choose the right platform. I can't tell you if you need to go to the Android store or to the iPhone store. It doesn't depend on technology, it depends on your users. And in Belgium, it's true, there's not really a fine limitation between those kind of demographics are buying iPhones, those kind of demographics are buying Androids. It's a little too early for that, but I believe we will see some distinction, like iPhone will be like the Audi, BMW brands, and the Android market and everything around will more be like the Volkswagen brand, etc. So it will be more common spread, it will be a bit less fancy, it will be a bit more diversity inside it, which makes it again difficult. But I think definitely in the near future you will choose your application store based on the audience you want to deliver for. That's something that's very important. It's not a technology source, it's a choice of what users you want to target. Now, one thing that's I'd like to say to people who professionally engage in applications and selling application projects is, for some reason, there seems to be this misconception that when it's not running on your server and you're not maintaining it and you're not distributing it yourself, that you're not responsible for it. This is not true. When you put your app out in the iStore or whatever, you're still responsible for it. You still need to make sure that you maintain it, that you provide upgrades. So it's very important that you also tell that to people who want you to make an app, that they should make a maintenance budget out of it. Because otherwise, all these app stores will be full of outdated apps in a few years' time, because nobody will be interested in them anymore. So you need to make sure you also have a maintenance budget for those applications. And the other thing I wanted to say is, of course, it's easy to sell a mobile application because people really want those mobile apps and think maybe mobile websites are less cool. But at least try to make a minimal budget for a decent, even one-page mobile site. Even if it's just a stupid mobile site containing the address of the company, the logo, and maybe a link to the regular website or to the application in the store. Even if it's only that, to me it's very dorky when a company comes out with this new flashy iPhone app and you surf to their website and it's completely flash and connectable on mobile device. That just doesn't make sense. At least try to make a one-page mobile website that consumers who land on that page can see, okay, this is the company, this is what I'm looking at, and there is the link to the app. That's nice. So it doesn't cost anything and saves your face. When you're making that platform choice, and Steph already mentioned it already, there are some nice technologies that come up, like Titanium, that allow you to only write your code once and run it on multiple platforms. Java used to promise that as well. They said, write once, run everywhere. Well, that didn't come true. The problem was it didn't run everywhere. What you're saying now is write once, compile it many times, that's the cross-compile option you got, and then you can run it on several platforms. Of course, the hidden cost is still in testing because you still need to test it many times before you can run it everywhere, and there's still a cost associated to that. But at least when you're in this for the long run, it gives you a nice maintainable code base so that you don't have to do everything again and again and again. So from a maintenance point of view, it's definitely very interesting to use these kind of platforms. This is a bit of a personal thing I have here. I already mentioned the word widget. But I still believe there is a strong potential for widget platforms out there. We're all now making these big applications that are actually, at that moment, the only thing running on our phone. But the different manufacturers, even Nokia, who isn't here today, have their widget model that allows you to have small applications on the screen of the phone, in the home screen. And those applications can be updated in the background, can have connectivity in the background, they can receive push messages in the background. And those still remain interesting. The problem is today it's a very fragmented landscape, and even like Samsung, they also have this widget platform. It's very, you can't even make a secure connection out of it, and then you need to resort to proxy server techniques to make from an unsecured connection again a secured one. It's very immature. But I think in the end we will see some benefits of some lightweight XML definition type language that allows you to quickly generate some lightweight widgets for companies or for users without resorting to a full application. I think that will be I still think the potential is there. So this is just something to show you that we made a very long time ago. It's an XML type of language that allows you to create small types of widgets that also take over the screen, and it cross-compiles to Java, Symbian, Windows Mobile, and it did it to the iPhone, but we didn't get up with it. This was development that was stopped in 2007 because we ran out of money and nobody wanted to pay for these apps at that time. But it still got potential. So when you go to the website blowme.com, there you see actually a store that holds different kinds of applications that you can download to your phone. And when you're interested in developing them, you will be redirected to the website blowme.org, and the org is a little bit to say, okay, you want to make that open source. We have one of the developers here who's making one of these applications in that. And I still think these kind of models, with the right support and the right companies behind it, have a chance to succeed and have a chance to lower the entry barrier for programmers. Because one of the big disadvantages of these application platforms is everyone could start, open up Notepad and make a web page. That's how the internet got made. But you can't do that with applications today, because you need to be a full-fledged programmer, you need to download the API, you need to buy a Mac or install some Macintosh type of thing if you want to develop for an iPhone. These are all barriers. In these lightweight XML type of languages, you don't have these barriers, and that's one of the reasons I believe in them, and I still believe these widget platforms are very interesting to follow up and to do some experiments.